What's up, YouTube? Skin Masters Canada here. Your All Natural Tattoo Aftercare people. What's going on?
People, do you care about your tattoos? We sure do.
Before and after.
Yes. So in today's episode of Tattoo Talk, we talked to John, all the way from Manchester, UK. Are you a traveling tattoo artist? Let us know in the comments below if you are. Where have you traveled? Where have you been? And he's gonna tell us all about Manchester, how it's like over there.
All about it.
In the meantime, make sure to subscribe, leave us a comment,
and hit the ding-a-ling.
Stay natural, peeps.
Appreciate it.
How do you want me to sit anywhere I want?
Yeah,
Just be comfy.
Yeah, exactly.
You can watch I ain't got a boner.
Outtakes. What is your name? Where are you from?
My name's John. I'm from Manchester, UK.
How long have you been tattooing?
I've been in the industry for 10 years, but it was an apprenticeship at first, so I'd say I've been tattooing properly for about 7, but I've been doing it for 10.
And you were like kind of, well, you went through the whole apprenticeship. You did.
Yeah, like an old school style when it was, yeah.
Do you have like a preference style in tattoo at all?
I prefer black and grey, realism, surreal.
First time in Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah? How do you like it?
First time out of Europe.
Out of Europe?
Out of Europe, yeah, I'm 32.
Nice. Well, actually, I'm 30. My first trip, our first trip was in Punta Cana, but that was just this year. I haven't traveled anywhere.
Yeah, same thing. First time out.
Well, from Britain, there's a lot of rain, right? Like you guys have.
It's full of rain. Yeah. We have sun for like 3 days a year, and then that's it.
That's it, eh?
That's it. Yeah.
People are depressed from.
That's why it's Manchester.
Yeah.
Like here, Canada's like, oh, you know, sunny, next day snowing, sunny.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's even sunny when it's snowing.
Yeah. It's pretty shitty outside right now, for sure. Well, now that you've been in Canada and you've seen like the shops run here, how does the shops run in the UK? Like, what's the tattoo? Like, I've never been there.
It's changed. It's changed again over a few years. You know, you're getting so many little shops just popping up, and then they'll last maybe a year, if that, and then they go, or someone will buy it out, and then it's under new management, and but it's just like a chain, and then it'll just a big circle. Don't get me wrong, we have got 4 or 5 I could think of really good shops in like the Greater Manchester area with some famous artists. They're brilliant, fantastic they are. Yeah. But that's about it. The rest, you got your Joe average tattoo shops, nothing like this.
Well, going back to trends, what's the trend in the UK? What's the most popular tattoo?
Tattoo trend. It's a tough one. That I think the pocket watches.
The pocket watch.
Yeah, that's a massive one.
On the neck.
I've never done one on the neck. Not a pocket watch, but it's you do get a lot of people. I mean, the idea is really good, and you can have your kids naming it with the time. So there's a good sentiment behind it, but that many people has got them now.
A lot of people, eh?
Yeah.
What is your least favorite past trends?
Tribal. Yeah. I contradict myself because I've got an arm full of it. I've got quite a bit of tribal on me, but it's when I started getting my tattoos in like the 90s, like late 90s. So that it was all about tribal round about then.
Same time like was that the blonde hair tips? Like the NSYNC style?
Yeah. That was early 2000s.
Early? That's true.
But I did the same again then. It's like what we were saying before, I'd seen some things in like a fashion, and because I wasn't in the industry just then, so I didn't really know about tattooing, so I just sort of seen something and said, I want that. So I was copying, and I wish I could go back and change it, but I can't, no.
You got the links?
Hey, they do.
What's your worst tattoo experience?
The worst tattoo I've done or requested, or it's hard to tell, especially nowadays as well. You get a lot of, because the industry's blown up the way it has, so you get a lot of people with new ideas and different things, so it's hard to say really, because it's been so long, so it's hard to pinpoint a specific one.
Yeah, so just like combining the combining all these ideas together and trying to make them.
No, that's a good thing, but you know sometimes you get some weird requests.
What's your weirdest request?
It was, I said it the other day. It was when I was still an apprentice, and some girl come in and she said she wanted a portrait doing. So I thought, right, okay, what are you after? And she just says, I want a portrait of a dick there. Why do you want that? Why do you want that? She went, I want it all realistic. I want the veins in it. I said, why? She went, I just love cock. So I just thought, she's being serious, honest. I'm not joking.
And how did it turn out?
I didn't do it. I didn't. I was only an apprentice at the time, so I couldn't have done it. But I didn't even pass it on to my boss. I just thought I'll leave that.
Nice.
Leave that for you. So after that would be the best tattoo experience. Something.
The best.
What you remember most of?
I think maybe when I just started getting into doing realism and faces, and then when I pulled my first one off and I was really happy with it, I think that was like the pinnacle where I started to drift to a certain area of my career then.
Well, next week we're going to the beach or something. Well, since you said you've been in the tattoo industry for so long, do you see like what kind of changes do you see that you dislike in the industry?
Well, at first it was a bit prejudiced when tattooing started to really take off and you get a lot of celebrities getting stuff, so then you get their fans wanting to copy them, so it started to blow up and get out of control. I suppose it's a good thing for us, but then also you get people just copying a certain person because that's what they've got, not for what they actually want. So it's a bit of a double-ended sword really. It's good for custom, and you can speak to customers, maybe change their mind a little bit to get something more for them, but you do get a lot of people in fashions and trends, so they're just following suit.
The trendy part of it, eh?
Yeah.
Takes the passion out of it. Copy.
Well, yeah.
And do you do any like conventions, things like that?
No, I've never done a tattoo convention. I've been asked to go and I've always planned on it, but a few things have come up and I've never been able to do it, so that's pretty much why I've come to Grim City, to get out, meet different artists, and get a bit of an experience behind me as well, rather than just going to a convention, because I couldn't really pick much up there, whereas I've been here already with the likes of Christian and picking stuff up all the time.
Yeah. Nice.
Conventions are definitely a different feeling. It's competition.
Yeah, I mean it's great here. There's obviously in the tattoo industry there's millions of good tattooists out there, so there is a big competitive side to it, but here it's great because there's loads of artists here, but everyone's willing to show you little tricks, and there's so many different styles, so it's a really good environment to be in here.
How long are you going to be here for?
I've got about another two weeks left, roughly, maybe a bit over.
Nice. Next shop? What's your next shop?
I'm just going to go home and I think I'll look after the kids and give my wife a couple of days break.
Just a couple, eh?
Just a couple.
Yeah, just a couple. Not too many days.
No.
Yeah.
No, I have a feeling you'll be back.
I will be back. That's why I'm going to give her a few days off, just to sweeten her up a little bit. I'll say, let's move to Canada.
Exactly.
Come summertime, you don't have to wear the jacket. See some things.
I didn't, to be honest with you. We ended up, because in tattooing, when you're a tattooist, you get people. Well, I did anyway. Get people ringing, texting late at night, wanting work, and so it was too much for me to do that. Plus, I've got my kids and I've got my wife, so it was too much really. So we got a shop manager, we've got the apprentices, so the shop's sort of running itself, and then I'll just turn up when I turn up, really.
Nice. So it's nice and fun.
Yeah.
So
about the industry, how changes are happening, would you have any suggestions for young upcoming tattoo artists? What would you say to them if you could?
Well, it's different again in that aspect, because even like here, the apprentice here, they're giving a lot more leeway to like when I was apprenticing, and I think that's a good thing, because you got some really good artists and they're not having to go through so long through an apprenticeship. As long as they're being taught the right things and the right science with it, I think it's a good thing that they're being pushed through a bit differently to how it used to be. Because there's a lot of good artists out there who need to be shown how to do things. I think it's a good thing for the industry.
Like how long the apprentice should last?
Well, when I did it, it was anything from 3 years to 5 years, depending on whoever was teaching how long they wanted you to keep you on side for. But I think I did about 3-4 years. Yeah.
Now they do like 6 months on their artists.
Yeah, well, it's looking that way, but good for them. Yeah.
Well, our guys are typically, it's a year of actual apprenticeship time.
Yep.
And then if they require longer, then they are apprenticed longer. But
Yeah.
it's 7 up 4.
But I mean, it's good here because they've got that many artists to go and study under, so that's another good thing for them here. It's a really good place to be, I think, here.
Well, our difference is we do shop apprenticeships, not tattoo apprenticeships.
Yeah.
Are you a shop owner yourself or?
I co-own it.
So what's the future for you? 10 years, 20 years down the road.
I think 20 years. I can't even look to think that I'd still be here in 20 years, to be honest with you. But as far as it goes at the minute, coming out here, it's a brilliant experience for me. I'm only a week and a half, 2 weeks into being out here, and I've picked up so much stuff off people, so I don't know. I'm going to go home, see the family, speak to them, see if they want to come back over to Canada with me.
Oh yeah, it's really.
No, it's
You're thinking about it.
Yeah, I'd love to work here full time, but then I've got to think realistically. I've got my shop back home,
Yeah.
my family are there, so it's just something I can throw on the table for my wife. Really, I think, and see what she says. Let the boss have her say first, I think, before I say anything.
Yeah.